I did speak to someone within DJI the other day. I don't know. I have no insider dealings with DJI, or they don't sponsor me or anything. But they are bringing out, as far as I'm aware, a 360 camera. That's in the pipeline. Right, hello everybody. So yes, we're in two-wheel rider towers again. But I thought I'd do this video about the kit. I keep meaning to do this about the cameras and stuff that I use, and the ones that I would recommend that I found really good are ones that I found not so useful. And I tend to use all this kit regularly, but I just thought I'd show you this smorgasbord of filming equipment that I've got. And what I started with, what I use now, and what I still continue to use. And whether I pay for it with all my money. I'm not being paid for this, so I can give you, my view on what's good and what's not. So in terms of action cameras, I think the action cameras is obviously really critical with the a really useful tool when you're doing motorbike vlogging, because it's got to take quite a beating. It gets bashed about quite a lot. They get on and off the motorbikes. You might have them on chin mounts or whatever, what sort of mount you're using. But the way that I selected my camera, so I started with two cameras initially. I had a GoPro Hero 8. I want to say Hero 8, it wasn't 10. Hero 8, I think. And this Osmo Action. So this was the first of the DJI cameras. And although I found that the GoPro, the image quality was very, very good, I found that I gravitated more towards this. This became much just easier to use. And I very quickly decided that DJI was the way to go for me. I liked some of the stuff that they were doing. GoPro always had a fairly poor reputation, I suppose, although the camera worked fine. I just think these were smaller. Let's say they're lighter, because they're really chunky. These are all metal cased, but they just seemed like a better option for me and certainly when I started to upgrade my kit. How versatile this little camera was can be seen if you watch my videos from India last year. This was the only camera that I used. Now, I bought this second hand for about £150, I think it was. Came with 3 batteries, and it was trying to get audio with this and mics clipped in, which you can do, but it's a bit of a faff. But those videos I had about 4 videos, I think, from India using this camera. This is the only camera that I took with me. This one little thing with its 3 batteries, and it did sterling service, absolute sterling service, and it did everything I wanted it to. Even to the point where I was just using the microphones on this little camera. And you can check out those videos, ones where I was had the bike sitting there with the bike and this camera in front of me. It was resting on some wheelie bins and things like that. I didn't even take a proper mount with me. All I had was like a big dog clip mount that I used a luggage strap around my chest, and then I just clipped it to that. So I love doing Heath Robinson jobs. It's always great in it, but it worked fantastically well, and I still use this camera. I now use this as a bit of a sacrificial camera, meaning that I don't want to destroy it, but if I might put it near the wheels and stuff like that to get video of the ground and the wheels riding along it and suspension and stuff. So if I did trash it, it's not the end of the world. So where did we go after that? So I then went to the Action 3. So the Action 3 was quite a good upgrade. And the reason I went for the 3, and the 4 was already out at that point, was price, really. I didn't feel I was getting anything better. So the way that we obviously use these cameras, quite often cameras for mobile, again, it's the same with a lot of people. I might have one mounted on my chin, which gives me the front view, which is okay. But then you want to give additional angles, don't you, really, which makes it interesting. So I'll have another one mounted on the front, staring back at me. The advantage of these cameras is you have got a front screen as well, so I can actually see the viewing angle, so I can see whether I'm actually in frame or not, which I can do with the little one, but these screens were better. It's a bigger camera all around, really. It's a bigger camera, so it's a bigger sensor, it's better low light quality, the battery life is much better. I probably get a couple of hours out of these, which is great, and the batteries are not hugely expensive. About £25 you can get the what they call the extreme battery for this. So that's really good. And the price of these really came down in price because it's now like 2 models old, but you can still buy these, as far as I'm aware. I bought these for £169, when I think originally they were probably about 300. They went to about 230, 250, and then 169. So fantastic quality, and I think even the 4 now is less than that, is around that sort of price, around the 200 mark. So really good. They sit in this cage. The advantage of this model though is that it's got a clip. It's got a magnetic clip, which I will show you now. So these clips, I've got a mount on my chin. You've probably seen this before in the video, but these just actually just clip on like that. So they're really, really good. Much quicker than the pin and the slot, and that's really, really solid. That won't come off. It's magnetic, and it clips, and the 2 little clips just pop in like that. So it's really good. You also notice that on my chin mount I've got quite a long arm there, which I can sort of move up and down. But what it means is that I can then see the actual the screen at the back. So again, I can check that my framing's okay, that I've got enough of the road, if you like, and a bit of the bike, because I think it's quite nice when people like to see the bike when you're doing that. And the way that these just come off, you just put the clips in, and they come off like that. So yeah, the Action 3 is the one that I've got. I've no need to upgrade. I think the only advantage, a couple of advantages the Osmo 4 has, and the 5, is that it's a slightly bigger sensor again, which is good for quality. But you can Bluetooth the microphones to it. With these, I need to put which I'll show you when I do the mics in a minute. A little receiver plugs into this, and then I can connect them remotely, because I'm using these mic minis, which I'll show you again in a minute. But yeah, Osmo shoots are really good. But then I wanted some extra different angles, so we'll go on to the 360 camera, the controversial 360 camera in my eyes. Let's have a look at that. So why am I saying the Osmo, the Insta360 is a little bit controversial? So I resisted the temptation to buy the Insta360 for a long time. I thought, do I really want to spend that sort of money? Because I think at the time when I started, these were £500–600. And this is the X3, this one. I've got the little thing on there, and you can see you've got your 2 lenses and the screen at the back. Now, as a piece of kit, it's a great bit of kit. It does an awful lot, this camera. It's having to do a lot every time you record with it. And what it gave me is the ability to see the whole bike, and me when I was filming. Although you get those sort of aberrations with the curvature of the lens a little bit, I only tend to use it for that. I don't tend to use it for much else. I use it just so I can draw the lens back a little bit, because it's filming you and the road ahead, and it stitches those together. You get this funny thing, almost if there's somebody in front of you in a car filming you. So that's really cool. The problem with this is, and you'll see it in this film now, so you can see where I'm using the camera to film myself. I've had to enhance this, because the low light filming is appalling. I think is really bad on this camera. So you'll see me now, and this is actually what the footage really looked like. And you can see that it was very poor, and you have to enhance it, the exposure and stuff on here. And when I say low light, that day I shot that bit of film, it was just overcast. It wasn't at night time or early in the morning, it was just overcast. And this is the problem with this. It works fantastically well in great daylight. And whenever you see people using these and adverts, they're always windsurfing in the Bahamas or something like that, and that's great. but you need good light, really good light. And that's the problem with cameras, you know, that have got small lenses and, you know, small apertures, is that they just cannot get the light in. And you're always going to suffer with that, unfortunately. And anything you get other than that is going to have to be enhanced. I'm going to say chemically enhanced. It's going to have to be electronically enhanced, which you lose some of the quality of the image by that. In that, you know, there's a reason why, you know, high-end cameras with high-end lenses, the lenses are big generally because they can use a very wide aperture to get more light in. And they have big sensors. I don't know what the size of the sensor is in this, but it's going to be pretty small. It's the same failing with, you know, with phone cameras and that, you know, everything's so enhanced digitally because it's such a tiny sensor. But in good light, it is very good. And I need to do more experimenting with this in terms of maybe using a single lens and stuff like that. And the reason for that is, the other problem I found with this camera is that even though you may record it in 4K, and this goes to 5.7K, even if you record it in 4K, it won't save it in that once you've done your editing. Now, I use the 360 Studio on the laptop to edit the footage, because I'm slowly getting around getting it done easier and quicker. But once you then upload that, it uploads it in 1080p, and you think, well, what was the point of recording in 4K if it's only going to save it in a lower resolution? And it's to do with that I think from what I understand, they add the two resolutions of each camera together to give you that high, you know, 4K, 5.7K. So it's only really half that when you so, you know, is that a bit of a con? Slightly. I still think the camera's fantastic, and I'm sort of glad I bought it because it does give me another option. But I'm reserving it for when I do on nice bright days when it's better. But because it uses a lot of memory, that's the thing with this camera. It uses a lot of memory, so you need quite a high amount of memory on your laptops or computers to use these to store the imagery. So yeah, it's okay. The reason I finally bit the bullet and did buy this was because, being the X3 now, it's an outgoing model, and it was cheaper. It was much cheaper. I think this came in at about just £300, which for what it's doing is, I don't think is that expensive. But again, you know, you don't need to be buying all this. You can still do your vlogging with just one camera, like I did in India. So yeah, 360. It is good. It is useful. I will continue to use it. This will come with me to Africa, because hopefully the weather will be great and it'll be good quality. But it means I can do different shots with it. But I would put this on low down on the list. But could you do everything with this camera? Possibly. But I think it would become a bit of a headache. The more I see other vloggers using these, they tend to use them sparingly, and they're not using them all the time. And I think that's because of the functionality, not the functionality, but the ease of use. You know, they're not as straightforward to use. But I wouldn't put all your eggs in one basket, because you might find it a bit of a pain. But if it's the only camera you ever use or ever used, you won't know any difference. So why would you worry? I did speak to someone within DJI the other day. I don't know. I have no insider dealings with DJI, or they don't sponsor me or anything. But they are bringing out, as far as I'm aware, a 360 camera. That's in the pipeline, because obviously Insta have got it pretty much to themselves. And when I did ask the question, oh, DJI must bring out a 360 camera, they got to be, haven't they? And I sort of got the nod. I got the nod on the 360 camera. So yeah, we'll look out for that with great interest, because you know that it's going to be a great bit of kit. It's going to be a great bit of kit. Yes, the drone. Love a drone. So this was the first drone I ever bought, and I have got another one actually, but I've never really used it that much, and I must get it out and use it. Was the DJI Neo. Now I saw these come out, and I thought, well, that's quite a cheap way into drone flying. And I thought, would it work well with me? So you've seen some of the stuff that I've done with this, and I'll put a completed. It was an outro that I did when I was in France last time, and it just gives a great dimension. If you've got the space to use it, and it's not windy, the actual image quality is fine. It's really good. It's onboard storage, which is more than enough for what I use it for, because I wasn't using it for, I haven't been using it for, you know, long spots. They're just for additional filling, really. But this is great. I think this is great. And once the weather gets a little bit better, they'll be using it a bit more. Again, you know, if you like, the airspace around my way is quite busy, so not that I'm interfering with plane, but you know what I mean. It's you need sort of privacy a little bit to use this. But I will be doing some more of this year. Can't take it into Morocco, which is a shame. Well, he says that. But it's a great bit of kit, and I'd highly recommend this as a way in. I tend to fly this autonomously with the settings on the actual drone itself, but it's so small, you know, it's barely in the palm of your hand, and it's not. It fits in a, you know, pocket on a bike jacket, no problem. This was £169 if you buy it on its own, with the battery kit and the big controller, because you can control it off your phone. You don't need the controller, you can just buy this and 3 batteries. It was £299, I think it was, but that was with the 3 batteries and the controller and the rest of it. But I haven't really used the controller, to be honest with you, so probably didn't need that. I could have got away with just this and buying another couple of batteries. Yeah, great bit of kit. Recommend that if you want to have your first go at drone flying, because it's really, really simple. Right, microphones, really important. Audio is so critical when you're riding your bike. So in the first instance, I played with different microphones. So when I had the little Osmo Action, the original one, I had a device that you plugged into the side of this, and you put a wired mic in there, and I never got it to function. Couldn't sort that, and it was just not good, really. And there was so much you had to do when you had it on your computer that you had to mess around with it. So I gave up with that completely. And what I did for quite a while when I started was just use the mic on the camera to get audio of the bike, which also wasn't that suitable because the mic was getting blown out on the mic, so you're getting a lot of wind noise. What I then did was use one of these. So I moved on to wireless mics. Well, they say they're wireless. These mics, the Osmo Mic 2, or Osmo Mic. See if I can get that to fire up. So what I did with these mics is I would clip one onto the back of my jacket, and this would record, when I first started, this would record the audio separately, so I could get the sound of the mic, the sound of the bike separately on a separate track, and then I had to synchronize that in post-in editing, which I got very used to, but did become a bit of a faff. So and with any of this stuff, you're wanting to sort of speak or improve the efficiency of how you're recording stuff. And you see this has 2 mics. You can click 2 mics to this. So what I then did was put one of the microphones on my back, but I would connect this to the camera. So in the Action 3, this with your USB-C connector clips into the actual receiver, and then you clip it to the camera, which meant then that the sound was automatically synchronized. So I still wasn't doing audio voiceover on the bike at that point, but I had the audio of the bike synced to the camera already, so that saved me a lot of time. So I was still coming in here afterwards and then clipping on a little lapel mic, and then recording the voiceover when I was on the motorbike afterwards. When I was doing the stuff that I do to camera, you know, by the Roundtree and stuff like that, this is clipped in. Well, the actual, and I'll show you that camera in a sec. The camera that I use for that has a microphone already with it, which you just switch it on, and it's all automatically putting the audio on the film. But it's a microphone like that. But these aren't Bluetooth, but that mic was. I say was because that's the mic I lost. Damn. So yeah, the DJI mic, and then the mic 2, which is Bluetooth, which is an updated version, I use a lot. And they come in this case if you buy the kit with the 2 mics and the receiver. But this case is battery powered, so it's got a battery in it. So when you charge this up, you put the mics in and it keeps the mics charged. It's really, really cool. That's really good. What happened though, when I lost my mic for my Pocket 3, which I'll show you in a sec, I thought, oh, well, I didn't really want to replace that because these had come out. So these are the DJI Mic Mini, these ones. And the advantage of the Mic Mini is that it has the receiver, but on the receiver, it has a gain control, which I'll show you because I'm filming it on this and I'll show you that. The gain control means that I can effectively adjust the sensitivity of it. Now, what I do with the Mic Mini, these have magnets, so they clip or they have magnets. And I got one of the magnets clipped directly into my helmet. That's actually glued in, you probably won't see it, but that's glued into there. So if I take that off there, let's take that one up. Actually, I have to put one of the, I'll take that one out. It might link up, that's no problem. And then that just links in there, like that. So that's really good. And that's how I actually then record my audio on the bike. So the actual, because I can turn down the gain, the audio that you can hear on the latest videos is all coming from the Mic Mini with the gain turned right down. And you get no bike, we do get bike noise, you can hear the exhaust, but there's no wind noise and it doesn't clip when I'm just talking normally in the helmet. And that's been an absolute revelation, a real revelation. And these Mic Minis, you can buy the mic on its own without the receiver. You could just buy the mic on its own because it will link Bluetooth, and you've got a USB-C and an iPhone connector. You can plug it into your iPhone if you want, or other phones. And it will link, as I'm doing with this now, I'm linking it to my Pocket 3. They're £49, and I think the quality is fantastic. If you want it with the receiver, I think it's only £89. So, and the gain control, and for motorbike vlogging, I think that's the best mic I've ever seen. The best mic I've ever seen. What I did, with the trip to Africa coming up, I thought, well, know me when I'm losing all my kit. I thought I'd buy another one for £49. But if you pay a little bit extra, you get this charging case. So it'll take 2 microphones and the receiver, and it's got a battery in it. So you charge this up and you'll get about 3 or 4 full charges on 2 microphones out of this battery. So that's really, really good. And plus you get the, the windsock and all that sort of stuff. So really good, but obviously you can lose those. Be aware of that. But the DJI Mic Mini, that's the one I'm using now. And I think that's a really, really nice piece of kit. Right, let's look at the Pocket 3, and I'll show you the camera that I do all my sort of static filming with and my walk around filming. Right, so this is the Pocket 3. So it's a gimbal mounted camera or lens. So and it can also track you. So I've actually got that to track me. You might just be able to see the green line around me. If I move over here, you see that it's tracking me all over the place. So really good, and I can obviously link my microphones to this. I tend to hardwire these, but the little Mic Mini will connect direct with that. So I'm filming this now on the Osmo Action 3, so you can see that. But what it does, and I'll show you with some of the couple of the clips I run over the top of this, is that what it gives you that advantage of it allows me to set this up and then pull away on motorbikes, etc., and it'll follow me around. So really cool, and I've used this quite a lot. I mean, you need to set it up on a tripod and stuff like that. It's not waterproof or anything like that. It might be sort of slightly weatherproof maybe, but it's not waterproof. It's not like an action camera. But the sound quality is good. The lens is great, and it's got a 1-inch sensor in there. So the image quality is really, really good with this. And it is, although it's quite expensive, if you buy the complete pack, with all the gizmos and bits and bobs with it. It comes to about £600. So, but I think you could buy the camera on its own. This has got the extra battery and the tripod and all sort of stuff, but the camera on its own I think is about 400 and something now. But really, really good bit of kit, and something I use a lot. You know, as you lift it, you don't get any shake because it's locking onto me, and like sort of, so you can see it sort of tracking around and doing all sorts of funny things. So yeah, it's a really good bit of kit, and something I've used extensively when I do stuff in the garage, and the talks to camera and stuff like that we've seen before. So yeah, Osmo Pocket 3. Really nice bit of kit, and something that I've used extensively now. Right, well, thanks for watching, and I know I've got to edit it all together, and I'll do another video about that one day, about editing, and I use DaVinci Resolve for my editing, which is free, which is a great thing, but otherwise this video will be hours long. But take care, everybody, and I will see you in the next one. You should have had the intro, the new intro. I know you're going to tell, all my regulars are going to give me their thoughts on my intro, whether I should be stupid or not. But I'm just changing it around a little bit now, so just working with the kit that I've got, and just refreshing things for this year, and that's what I'm doing. But take care, everybody, ride safe, and I'll see you in the next one. We've got some good stuff coming up, so see you soon.